In the previous lesson, we learned how to calculate and solve this type of problem using the format given online. Now, in this situation, you are going to solve this problem and you are only going to type in the answer. So I need you to show this work on paper. So let's look at this problem. How many molecules of calcium carbonate are there in 30 grams of calcium carbonate? So on your paper, you need to write the following. First of all, what is given to you? Well, we are given 30 grams of calcium carbonate. And what are we looking for? We are looking for molecules of calcium carbonate. Now let's continue to solve this problem. Using the same strategy, we take our given times the conversion factor, which are given to us. So our given is 30 gram 0.00 of calcium carbonate times our first conversion factors. And notice this is grams of calcium carbonate. So we are going to use the conversion factor with gram of calcium carbonate, and the grams is going to be on the bottom, because again, we need to cancel that out. So notice how grams of calcium carbonate cancel out. If the grams is on the bottom, well, the remaining part must be on top. So we have 1 mole of calcium carbonate. Now we are done with that conversion factor. Let's move on to the next conversion factor. And notice how this one now gives us mole. And then the next conversion factor has molecules in it, which is exactly what we're looking for. So here is mole. So we need to cancel that mole. So 1 mole of calcium carbonate is on the bottom, and that cancels out. And the remaining part must be on top. 6.02 E23 molecules of calcium carbonate. And then we plug this into our calculator. We multiply everything on top, divide everything on the bottom. What do we have? Again, multiply everything on top, divided by everything on the bottom. 30, and we can ignore the 1, times 6.02 E23 divided by the number on the bottom, 100.09. And our answer is 1.80 E23. And the unit is molecules of calcium carbonate. So let's put this in our answer. Well, the number is 1.80 E23, and the unit is molecules of calcium carbonate. And that's all we have to do. Now let's try another problem where we are going to use fentanyl in our example. Well, again, having a total of more than 0.01 grams of fentanyl can cause lethal overdose that lead to heart failures and death. Well, how many molecules of fentanyl are there in 0.01 grams of fentanyl? And we have the molar mass for fentanyl as well as this conversion factor for fentanyl. So again, we need to identify our given, which is right here. So on your paper, you need to identify the given and write it out. So 0.01 gram of fentanyl. And notice how we didn't use the chemical formula for fentanyl because it's very lengthy. And we are looking for what? Well, in this case, we are looking for molecules of fentanyl. So this is all you have to do to show your work on your paper. Now let's solve this problem. Well, again, we use the same strategy. Take our given times the conversion factors. So we are given 0.1 grams of fentanyl. And time our first conversion factor. Here we have gram of fentanyl equal to moles of fentanyl. So the gram must be on the bottom. So this is the same thing we did before with regular compounds, but now we are dealing with opioid drugs. And if the gram of fentanyl is on the bottom, the other part must be on top, which is 1 mole of fentanyl. And notice how gram of fentanyl cancel out. Now we are multiplied by the next conversion factor to get our molecules of fentanyl. So this is mole of fentanyl, and therefore the 1 mole of fentanyl will be on the bottom. And that's the beauty of using conversion factor. It's like a puzzle. You just need to know where to multiply and what to multiply by to cancel out the unit. In this case, moles of fentanyl cancel out and give us our what? Give us our molecules of fentanyl, which is again 6.02 E23 molecules of fentanyl. And then everything else cancel out. So give us ourselves the final unit of molecules of fentanyl. And the only thing left is we had to multiply using our Google calculator. So again, the golden rule is multiply every number on top, and we can ignore the 1, divided by everything on the bottom. So we have 0.1 times 6.02 E23 divided by all the numbers on the bottom, which in this case only 336.47. 336.47. So we have 1.789 e to the 19. And notice that 8 will be rounded to 9. So our answer is 1.79 e to the 19. And what's the unit that's left over? Molecules of fentanyl. And let's put this in our answer. Well, the number is 1.79 E19. And then the unit is molecules of fentanyl. And that's all we have to do. And this will be your work on your notebook. So now you know how to solve from your given all the way to your known.